Tonight I'm in the shop because that damn dog next door is driving me right up the wall. I have my deal right here. And I'm going to clean one of my automotive spray guns. This one right here, which is a new DeVelvis, and this is the GTI series. It comes with its own little pressure gauge right here, and three different spray tips, not tips, excuse me, three different spray the nozzles right here, and this is the air cap right there. Now with these guns, they are not cheap. This one is a few $100s. This is your Husky $45, what we call detail guns. Detail are just small. This is the old school detail guns. They look like this. And this is one of the few detail guns that DeVelvis puts out. And this one is probably over $300. But what I like to do to clean the guns is after I get done doing a job. Now I'm not talking about painting cars. These guns are used for a lot of different things besides just painting cars. You may paint fences with them, but whatever you do, you're going to get the paint particles on your clothes, on yourself, and on the gun. So it's very critical that these guns are cleaned correctly after every use. If someone gets up and tells you, well, you got 2 minutes to clean your gun, you tell them go to hell. That the gun comes first and that's it. Or walk out. Because if these guns are not cleaned correctly, they will not work the next time. And the way I feel about them is, usually paint or catalyzed paint will dry. Okay, you reduce it with either enamel reducer if it's enamel, or lacquer thinner if it's lacquer paint. Two types. There's only two types on that. Usually we use catalyzed enamel, which is like 4:1:1. Anyway, you use a little bit of hardener in the paint so that paint will dry in 8 hours instead of 3 weeks. The thing is that any paint that's left on the gun or in the gun will do the same thing. So it's important when you get done with your spray job, whatever it is, that you clean the guns correctly. Now if you walk into a paint shop and you ask the guy to look around, if you go and look at his paint booth and his paint, not his booth, but his table, it's called something, his bench. If his bench is a total mess and his guns are all just caked with paint and everything else, walk out. Because these guns cost a lot of money and they can be wrecked after just one cleaning. So I want to give a few tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. Now I'm from the old school. I was taught to use DeVelvis suction gun. This is what's called a suction gun right here. Now these are, I don't know if they're going out or coming back in style. These are over $300 themselves. And they only come with a certain size tip in here. The tip is the needle that goes right through here. You can only get them so small. Now it's called suction because it sucks the paint out of the cup here. The reason I like these is because you can set them down anywhere you want, on the floor, on anything. You don't need a special hook that fits right in here to hold this. This is what's called an HLVP. Well, I believe it's HLVP, and it stands for high velocity, low pressure. To give you an idea, back when I was in school 35 years ago, we would constantly shoot at about 60 pounds pressure to put on either clear coat or metallic. These, you only have to high velocity. They only have to be at about where that green mark is, between 20 and 30, probably 30, optimal range. So they're a little bit different. But I'm from the old school. I like both kinds. And whatever gun that you use, usually a good painter, they will never let anyone borrow their gun, clean it, play with it. They won't even let anyone look at it, because their gun is their bread and butter. And if their gun, say like on this air cap, this is what's called an air cap, it has a multitude of tiny holes in it. Air holes and fluid holes. If any of these holes are clogged at all, and it's easier than hell to get them clogged, because after you're painting, what we usually use is lacquer thinner, which is that's what I use. Now, of course, there may be some other people that use different things, but shops usually have 55-gallon drums of lacquer thinner. You put a little bit of it in a cup, and you clean your gun. But you're trying to get the gun clean. You're tired. You've got paint mist all over you, and usually a good cleaning will end up looking like let me see if I can show you, like this. It won't be totally perfect, but as long as the interior working areas of the gun are okay, then you're not doing too bad. But it's the cleaner that you can get your gun after every use, the way I was taught professionally, then you're going to have a consistent pattern and consistent good results. So what I like to do is I like to keep a little tip box right here, and in that box I keep a little ceramic dish with a couple of toothbrushes and some universal, these are always really good for cleaning if you need to clean, universal Q-tips. And these bristles are really good for getting into little orifices or things like that. And even if you get everything out of all the little orifices and you've got your gun cleaned, when you go to put it away, if you have a little bit of that lacquer thinner that you used to clean with and it kind of seeps into one of these little holes, it'll clog it. If it clogs it, you won't have a good finish the next time. So in the tip box, I bought these two. These are the smallest touch paintbrushes in the world. Oh man, this video is running way too long. Okay, we'll go on to part 2. I just love talking about painting and my Hondas.